Morning, everyone. So today I'm presenting Marmalade 7, which is something that we're really excited about. It's something that we've put a lot of work in, and in a nutshell, it's all about you guys. It's all about improving the developer experience, getting you guys to market quicker, more efficiently, and learning, exploring. We're really excited about it. It's a really, really interesting product, really interesting time for us as well. Let's go ahead. So Marmalade 7 is all about our latest evolution. We've been here for a long time, and Marmalade 7 is a big change for us. It's as I said, focused on you. Harvey mentioned the same. It's about getting you guys to make it. Get your apps to market, learn about new technology, learn what we have to offer, bring in third-party content to you, so it makes it easy for you. So key features of Marmalade 7, we have the Hub, which is a new user-friendly GUI for the SDK. So before we had quite a few different tools, they're quite old, and so what we've done is bring them all together, and I'll do a demo of that a bit later. Within that, we have the SDK dependency checker within the Hub, and that's trying to address a problem where we're all about cross-platform. We're trying to hit so many different targets, different platforms, different combinations, and it is hard. It's a difficult thing to get right. What we're trying to do with the dependency checker is show everything that you need to do to get right to go cross-platform. So that's what it's about. We also have better games tutorials, including the Marmalade Quick and Marmalade C++, and I'll show a bit of that as well. Again, that's about getting you guys to see how you can integrate everything into a real example. It's a game that's been developed by the studio, and it's not just very simple example. It's an actual working example with lots of content, online advertising, lots of stuff, and it gives you a really good step-by-step introduction. We have a new documentation system. We're very excited about it because it makes our life easier. We really think it's going to make your life easier. Searching different documentation, it's a bit obscure. Before it may have been hidden somewhere. We're trying to make it easy for you guys to find the right stuff at the right time during your development cycle. We have a premium partners program, and again, that's kind of related to getting you guys to market, integrating the best APIs in the industry to again get you to market quicker, more efficiently. And we also have better videos. So I learn much better when I can see something being done on the screen, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to let you guys explore more stuff, more quicker, and try things out very efficiently. That's what we're about. Okay. I forgot to say. I'm sure you'll have questions at the end. So we'll have a few minutes at the end to answer any of the questions that you have. So this is about the Hub. So it provides a new GUI for the SDK with easy access to projects in Marmalade C++, Quick, and Web Marmalade. It has examples, tutorials, and documentation links. So this is just a little screenshot here. So you can also, that's something that's really exciting and new for us, is that you can build, deploy, and license within the Hub. So it brings it all together into one point of interaction with the SDK. I mentioned the dependency checker. That's also a part of the Hub, and we have other tools that before they were here and there within your installation. Now we're bringing it all together, so you're 100% sure what is being built, deployed, etc. So that's what we're trying to do with the Hub. Launching the project. So on the left, we have those extra tools that I mentioned, including the dependency checker. So I will quickly show you the dependency checker now. There's a lot of content here. The reason being that we are cross-platform, and we're trying to get you guys thinking about cross-platform, not just maybe iOS or Android, but every platform that we provide, we want you to be able to go and deploy and publish to those platforms. So for example, we have here the IDE that I'm using. You can change it. We also have where we have a question mark. It's something that the hub is not able to easily check. But it does give you some introduction as to what it's looking for. So for example, I have Android, and that's Java JDK. For iOS, we know it's quite difficult to deploy sometimes to iOS. So what we're trying to do is bring it right in front of you at the very beginning, just to make sure it's all there. So we have other platforms, for example, Windows Phone 8. We're very excited about this platform, and there'll be a talk about it a bit later. We have BlackBerry. So every combination that's important to hit those targets and those platforms, we're trying to bring it here. We also have links. So let me just see if that works. Yeah. So what we're trying to do again is make your life easier. That's what it's about. So let me just go back to here. So I mentioned the question mark. So over on the top right, we also have the targets button. So what this is about is you might not be deploying to a particular platform, so we'll put that away. But the ones that you are interested in are on the left. So you can just move them across. So for example, the CES file. I can remove it or just add it again. So again, that make your life easier and make sure that what you see is what you're going to get essentially. So the other interesting addition to the hub is the licensing. So before we had a separate tool that did licensing, and that was a bit annoying for you guys because you had to go somewhere else and do it. Anyway, what we have here is it's integrated here, and it shows you what type of license you have, how many days you have. Very simple. The way it works is that it's an activation key. I'm not sure if you've seen it. And what you get is a key. You just put it in here, and I'll show you that in a second. And it's very simple. It's an activation. It's for your machine. If you are planning on traveling, for example, it gives you an offline period. So if you ever go traveling and you're going to be offline, what you do is you release the license and activate it again, and then you get 5 days to go offline. Before, the previous system was checking all the time, and it got in the way of your development. We don't want to do that. So if you say you have one license, you want to deploy use it on another machine, all you're doing is you just release a license. And it'll get it back. It's not happening. No. Okay. The other new addition to the hub is the trial license. So, whereas before we had an evaluation license and you had to sign up and get an eval and so forth, what we're doing now is just click there, and that's it. You don't have to go online. This is an offline process. So each version of the SDK you have 30 days to do the eval. It does mean that we don't have that much visibility on things like that, but again, it's about you being able to just quickly try something new, try a new version of the SDK, and get working. That's what it's about. I will show you now the tutorials, which I'm very excited about as well. So over on the left, we have the Marmalade C++. So we have the started tutorial. So this is an application development step by step. It's a real application. It's a real game. It's based on a game that the studio developed, and it started very simple. So what you can do, it's initially just displays an image, but it builds up stage step by step. To adding audio, animation, screen resolution, gameplay, networking. So, for example, the other really interesting thing that we've added to the hub is just the ability to launch from the hub and launch a simulator. it might be building in the background, so it might take a bit of time, but what it does, it lets you explore, it lets you learn, it lets you, this one won't work. So very simple. You explore. We'll provide you with new examples, and you can quickly run them. And then I'll show you later how to look at the code behind it from the hub. So we're very excited about that, because you can explore new technology very quickly. So just exit that. Yep. Okay, so in the hub, what we've added is the ability to launch a project. So we have a whole lot of projects, examples as well as tutorials, and what we're able to do is open the project from the hub. So again, it's trying to focus everything, all your effort and activity onto the hub, so you can deploy very quickly and learn. So again, you can run the simulator example. And this is again the signal to the stars. Okay. So you can see how quickly I just got something running out of the box from the install. So you can, I'm sure you're aware of the simulator and what you can do. You can simulate the accelerometer. You can simulate all these different things that are an intrinsic part of a game. It's all in there at the moment. The next thing that I want to show you is just a bit of an overview of what we have here. So we have what action you want to carry out, and the platform that you want to deploy to. So we have all these platforms that you can quickly select. So for example, I have an Android device. I will just show that in a minute. We have the summary log, but we also have the full log. So I can build that, and it will show me just a stage of building. The other things that you can select is the type of build, so debug, release, debug loader, release loader, and obviously you want to debug, you want to write the game. So what we do is you launch the IDE from the hub as well. So again, trying to centralize all the activity into one tool. By the way, can I ask how many people have used M7, the hub and Marmalade 7 yet? Just a few, okay. Whereas before you had to have all these tools, and so, what we're trying to do again is try and focus it. And the idea is that you develop you write your game, you run it, you test it, and in conjunction you use the hub to deploy and so forth. What else do we have? So you can build it. There's a few more options here so for example, the dependency checker brings me back just to make sure if something didn't deploy, didn't work, you can quite quickly. So what I'll do next is just show you a real deployment to Android. So I have Android ARM, as you know, the configuration I will discuss in a minute. So it's my Android device, and we were trying to connect it to the TV, but it's not working reliably. So again, you can see if something were to go wrong here, I could check the dependency checker to make sure my Java version is correct. ADB, which is bundled with the product, so you don't have to install ADB itself, but you might want to use a separate version. So it's a bit teeny, this sound, but it's running that quickly. So it's a very, very quick way to explore different apps. Okay. What I'd like to show you next is something about the configuration. So it's something that developers, have a problem with in terms of what assets, what icon resolution, that sort of stuff. What the iPad, all different platforms have different requirements and different settings, and that's what we're about. We're trying to solve that problem for you, and this is part of the solution. So what we're trying to do is have a configuration. So I can edit the current configuration, and here you can see the admin, which is very basic. It just shows you the configuration name. What's really interesting, I'm sure for you guys, is this section. So just different resolutions, different files, different assets, you name it, and then the advanced section, which is, again, it's got a few more options there. I'll cover more detail of this in a minute. We also have the project settings, which again I'll cover in a minute. So it all combines into hopefully an easier user experience for you. So the one that's probably more interesting, in fact, it's the iPhone iOS deployment, because there are so many options, and we always have. It's really difficult to maintain an app when they release a new version, new resolution, new form factors, and so forth. So it just tries to solve that for you, and at least visualize it very quickly. Why do we have a problem? Why is it not displaying the right resolution, etc. And again, we have projects. So related to configurations, I will very quickly show you this. So don't worry about this too much. But what I'm trying to display here is that the configuration it's a very complicated thing to solve, and again, it's an evolution. We're trying to solve this for you. If you look at other IDEs, for example, Eclipse and so forth, it's a very difficult thing to get right. So, for example, we've talked about inheritance. We have talked about templating. We've talked about all sorts of sharing configurations. If you have different projects, would you want to share everything? Would you want to not share anything? I'm sure you have assets for your company that you want to share. So it's a fairly difficult thing to solve. So I'm sure you'll have questions about this. So essentially, what we're trying to have is the dependency checker goes straight into your final configuration. That's what the dependency checker does. We have a global configuration, which I'll show you in a minute, and we have project default configurations, which overrides the global, and platform configuration, which overrides the project default. And finally, it all combines into one. And that's it's not a live system. Once you have a configuration, that's it. If you change, it depends on what you change. It may or may not be reflected straight away. So it's something we encourage you to explore, because we want you to think cross-platform. So we see that, for example, people they will configure, for example, for Android, something that's essentially the same configuration that's in iOS or another platform, but they're not shared. So therefore, that duplicating the effort, you think you've got it right, you go to the deploy, store, run, and it's not quite right. And that's why we're trying to get you guys to think about how to share those configurations. And again, it's not a simple thing to fix, but I think it's a step in the right direction. So yeah. So I'll switch back. So bearing that in mind, it's a bit of an inheritance thing. So I'll just quickly show you what I'm talking about here. So if I go to manage, so I have this configuration, and then I can clone it, for example. I can clone it into a template, so that lets me share it with other projects. I can obviously edit it and just set different configurations, and then depending if it's a template, I can share with other projects. So that's a great way of, if you have an application that's a few years old, you maybe with Marmalade, you bring it up to date, and then you find that you want to hit another platform. So sharing those configurations is really useful this way, and just the same project settings. So let's say manage templates. So I was playing around with some of the templating stuff. So it is very useful, and I do encourage you to investigate it, because I think it will solve a lot of the problems that we see in terms of deployment. It's really powerful. And what I wanted to show you next is we have the ability to import a project. So obviously that's what you want to try out first when you get home. So the import project is again a very difficult thing to solve, trying to keep the backwards compatibility of all your settings for previous projects, and then making sure they work and they're populated. So if you have an MKB system for your project and you import it, some of the settings, and you edit the MKB directly outside of the hub, then you will have problems. That's because the hub, once you import a project, it creates its own internal representation of that. So the MKB will still be used, but you have to be quite careful in terms of the deployment settings that you've changed. So it's all about the deployment stuff that we're talking about here. So it's something to bear in mind, and but I think it's a step in the right direction. We have creating a new project. Start from scratch. I can easily see someone looking at some of the tutorials and then just importing some of that stuff, bringing in some of the really interesting in-app billing and so forth, all that sort of stuff, bringing it into your projects. You can navigate back to the tutorials. So we've tried to classify, again, trying to help you, so look for the information in the right way. So we have different examples that you can inform, copy and paste, and hopefully will get you going quicker. So let's just look at you have your carts. So just deploying it to the simulator, and it lets you again test much quicker. So you can quite quickly find problems for, before you're too late in your project. It's all about bringing it, fail early and bringing it back and trying to get you more efficient. So in the hub, so back of it. So there's other tools that we've always had around in the install, and they're there, but they're useful, but not everyone uses them. So there are things like Font Builder, a lot of iPhone signing stuff, and the Zero Brain Lua editor, which we're very excited about. Sorry, that's my app running. So again, trying to incorporate everything into the hub to make it more efficient. We have the 3D package exporters as well. That's by Autodesk, and just different selections. And again, trying to make it all into one place so you can see what your project is using. If you remember the global configuration, that's what it's about. It's just at the moment it's just a company name. We're trying to build it up with the content in these configurations. So any feedback on this area is very welcome. It's really excited about it. It's quite a difficult problem to solve, we feel. And finally, so again, I don't know if you've seen any Lua code, but again, we have a very step-by-step detailed work through a real example, just to try and get you guys exploring and finding out new things about our technology. I think that's pretty much it. The version, something that will be mentioned later. When the version of the SDK is really important, so that's what it's trying to say here. Just when you raise a support question, if you give us the SDK version, that's great. So that's pretty much all I have in terms of content, and I'll go through some questions in a minute. But I'd like to bring it back to the initial slide, which is basically a summary of the presentation and what we're on about. So Marmalade 7, it's about you. It's about trying to get you more efficient, trying to make all the content that we have available to you. Premium partners we're very excited about because it's very hard to develop things from scratch. So that's why we're trying to do that. And the documentation, again, trying to get you guys finding the information in an easier way. Examples and tutorials, as I showed you, just not trying to get you started from scratch. Just make it really quick for you guys to get going. Dependency checker on the hub, again, trying to centralize all the information that you have. So that's the content I have for today.